Rich Tehrani with TMC here. Thanks for watching. We're out in San Jose this week, and on our program is Gavin, who's the CMO of ShoreTel. Kevin, welcome back to the show. You may be probably one of the people I've interviewed most often.
I've been around for a while, Rich, you're right.
And you've been consistent. You frequently are the spokesperson for the company, and I'm thrilled to speak with you again and hear about what's new and what's happening at your wonderful Unified Communications organization.
Yeah, well, we've always got new news, right? I mean, we actually just announced this morning a new release, ShoreTel 13. It's got a host of enhancements, as all of our releases do, mostly focused on both IT and end user ease of use and implementing the system and using the system. One of them is about video, allowing our desktop communicators. You know, it's something that we include in all of our licenses, the ability to have a communicator. And many of our customers actually use the communicator to manage their calling and their voicemail, et cetera. And now from that same communicator interface that used to support point-to-point video, now it supports open standard H.624. And so from that same desktop communicator from your home, your coffee shop, your hotel room, you're now able to use that client to call into room systems. So whether it's a Polycom or a Life-Size or other room systems, we're open to supporting all of those. That's the one thing. The second thing is IM. Again, that's a place where IM used to be on a tier of our service that was a higher level tier where we charged an extra license. And now the support for IM is built right into our basic communicator license. And so, again, it's just part of the regular everyday flow of work now. More and more people are using IM. So to keep it really simple and easy for administrators and keep it simple and easy for users, it's just a core part of the basic ShoreTel license. And it can use either the ShoreTel IM present server in the background, or it can use the OCS or Link server in the background. And then finally is some improvements to SIP trunking that make it more functional, more capable, and more feature complete, and effectively at full parity to a traditional TDM or PRI approach.
Now, what's happening in terms of cloud? You picked up M5 back in February of this year, and just curious to hear what your thoughts are on the differences between cloud and CPE. Are customers looking to merge the best of both worlds? Are they looking for one or the other? What's happening?
Yeah, it's really, really exciting. You're right. It's one of the more interesting and hottest new things we've got going. It's relatively early days because you said the acquisition was relatively recently, but we very much see the opportunity to offer customers the ultimate choice. That there's clearly some people that have a bias towards premise-type PBXs, and of course you know the ShoreTel premise PBX competes very well there. There are other people that like certain aspects of the cloud model, the as-a-service, pay-as-you-go, kind of OpEx instead of CapEx, and so we're very, very happy to provide hosted cloud-based solutions as well. But where it really gets interesting is where you see the opportunity to find synergies between these two businesses. We didn't make this acquisition just to have two separate operations to cover two bases. We really did this because we saw tremendous synergy. And it really operates at multiple levels. As you know, the ShoreTel Mobility product, which was a result of another acquisition we'd made, we recently introduced it as the ShoreTel Mobility capability in conjunction with the M5 or ShoreTel Cloud hosted solution. So now you can subscribe to the ShoreTel Cloud hosted solution, and you can also subscribe to mobility as part of that. So that's one example. We're also hard at work making ShoreTel phones compatible with the ShoreTel Cloud solution. And at the end of the day, really, we really focus on is not so much one or the other. At the end of the day, we see lots of opportunities for sort of hybrid between them. The ability to have a premise-based customer take a premise ShoreTel PBX, and maybe they subscribe to certain applications on a service basis. So again, it wasn't just let's have a hosted PBX here and a premise PBX there. It was let's have these assets that we can combine together, and we think the combination, 1 + 1 = 5 when you add together the assets that we've assembled.
Fantastic. What's next?
Well, I think it really is continuing down this path. We're seeing the increasing importance of sort of the mobilized workplace. In the past, if you look back, the business was mostly about putting phones on desks, right? And certainly we've done that, and we've evolved to do much more than that, and we've made it brilliantly simple, as you know, and the IT administrators really seem to appreciate this brilliant simplicity. It means low cost, it means high reliability and high scalability. We've also focused on the end user, providing brilliantly simple solutions, but we're seeing an increasing empowerment of those mobile workers that all businesses today seem to be focused on improving worker productivity. It's kind of a macroeconomic issue, and there's no business out there, yours included I'm sure, where productivity of your employees matters. And so increasingly, the voice of the customer, the voice of the end user seems to be rising up in this decision-making process, and their needs are increasingly considered. It used to be sort of a secondary consideration, how do the users like it, but increasingly the user is having a much more primary, much louder voice in the decision-making process around their communication solutions. And the key, we think, is the brilliant simplicity we brought to the IT people, and the brilliant simplicity we bring to the end users is really paramount, that as those end users rise up, the IT people might be more tolerant of complexity. They might deal with it. It's not good for them and it costs them, but they have the option. At the end user perspective, there's sort of universal rejection of complexity, and ease of use and simplicity is really paramount. And so our core DNA in terms of supporting end users with easy to use solutions really seems to be very, very much sort of, the market's coming our way in that regard, and it seems to be very much increasing part of the decision process. So this notion of using technology to meet end users' needs is the increasing focus of the company, and it's what we've been doing for a long time.
Excellent. Thanks for being on the program again. Great to see you.
Always good, Rich. Thanks lots.